Satisfied Life. Today we are fulfilling a client request, and this is why we love your comments, because we get to see what you need from us and then we get to serve you. So today Rebecca and I have kind of a fun episode on how to care for your clothing items that you purchase from Cabby, or really any item that you may have sitting in your closet. We are going to focus on the fabrications that Cabby Clothing offers, but most of these style tips and little tricks will work for pretty much anything that you have in your closet. So we're really excited to offer this up to you today and hope that it will bring a little bit of knowledge on how we care for our own Cabby clothes and how we wash and style them and all the things. Style meaning in your closet. I cannot speak today, so you may just have to follow along here. But I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca first.
All right. Well, I actually just remembered that I have this fantastic little scarf organizer that I absolutely love because I am a scarf hoarder. And so anyway, this little girl is something that completely changed my life when I got it, because I had a couple drawers full of scarves, and then I found this deal. It's just a clear plastic scarf holder, and you've got all kinds of different rings you can run your scarves through, and it takes up like the width of a suit hanger. So it's absolutely fantastic. If you are like me and you have a bunch of scarves, get one of these in your closet. It will change your life. Okay, but my for real tip, another thing to add space to your closet and just really maximize what you've got there are these little black hangers. Now it seems like a very small thing, but they are a slim line, so they take up very little space. The other thing I really like about these is they've got the black flecking on them, and so they hold things on. Now I'm going to show you here in a little while how you can fold sweaters and stretchy knits that might get bent out of shape on a hanger, how you can use these to also store those. But if you are still dealing with wire hangers or plastic hangers and all the frustrations that those bring to you in your closet, do yourself a favor, get yourself some of these hangers, and I promise it will be worth the expense. Amy?
Hangers seriously changed my life forever. In fact, when I redid Breely's room, I found out there were kid size hangers that were slimline, and so we chucked all of hers, and now even hers has the slimline. So one big question that you guys often have is, how do you care for these clothes? Well, the good thing is our care instructions, like any other, is always on the labels. However, a lot of people aren't quite sure how to handle those things. So I want to show you just a couple of pieces that I have and a few tools that I love, and we'll go from there. The Avida Coat is one that we have that has 2% wool in it this season. So this, I believe, is our only dry clean only piece this season. And generally it will say, like, if you can wash it at your home, it will give you the option and then say dry clean recommended. But this one is a very true dry clean only piece. So be very conscious of that. If you absolutely hate the dry cleaners, then that may be a piece that you might want to wait and see if there's something else, or really decide if it's worth purchasing if you have to dry clean it. Another one is a sweater. So Rebecca's going to show you how to hang these. I'm going to show you how I care for them. So a lot of people wonder about peeling and how, you know, the little balls you get in sweaters. And basically what happens is when you have different layers of fibers, which a lot of sweaters are a mixed fiber fabrication. So they might have some cotton, some synthetic fiber, maybe some wool. It just really depends on the sweater, but all those fibers are different lengths. So when you add heat and friction, that is when you get some of the peeling. Now, Cabby does a pretty good job of non-peeling garments. However, anything can peel if you add texture. So if you do a sling bag and it's constantly wrapping, sometimes it's in the legs, maybe under the arms. So there's a couple tools that you can get. This is a little battery powered sweater shaver. You would just lay it flat and gently go over it so that you are not to clip the fibers. There's also little sweater stones, and those work really, really well. But mainly if you keep up on it, and if you notice one here or there and just trim it quickly, you're never going to have peeling. Rebecca is also going to talk to you about our baby knit ribs, and those are fantastic. So you're not going to catch that on there. One last thing, and then I'll throw it to Rebecca, is the other question I get is steaming. So I only ever wash my cabi. Everything is wash and wear unless it specifically says dry clean only. However, everything that I wash with cabi is minus fabric softener, because fabric softener will also loosen those fibers and create more peeling. The dryer is horrible. Please don't use the dryer unless it's for things that you don't care about. But if you can just either flat dry, hang dry, and really pay attention to those things and forget about fabric softener, you'll be good. I use white vinegar in place of it very often, and that will also kind of soften your fabrics, but not to the degree of fabric softener. So you can keep that in mind. I also use these little wool dryer balls because they remove static without coating your clothes. And so these are great if you do have dryer friendly fabrications. So those are a couple of my favorite things. I'm going to come back and show you actually how to steam a garment, and then Rebecca is going to take it away for now.
Well, I thought since Amy's talking about steamers, I'm going to show you my little travel steamer. Now, Amy and I both have the big floor steamers that hold quite a lot of water, and we've got those to steam our collection. For most people, it's not necessary to have a great big steamer. This is a My Little Steamer Go Mini, and I love this thing. I have 2 or 3 of them, and I travel with them if I'm packing things that are not necessarily travel friendly. But I also keep one at home because it's so darn quick and easy to just pull this out, steam one little piece that I need to do, and then put it back. So if you are still using an iron, chuck that baby, get one of these great little steamers. I think Amy's going to show you her favorite coming up, but they really are another tool that's just going to really save you a lot of time, and something that you're going to notice when you get your new cabi pieces, especially, is that there's going to be packing lines there. And when you take those out, make sure as soon as you try them on and guarantee that they are the right fit for you and that it works, then go ahead and steam those and just steam the packing lines out. And then you won't have to worry about that again. These pieces, especially like the ones that Amy has up, and then the poly pieces that I'm going to show you, are super low maintenance, and you steam the packing lines out once and then you're good. Now, this little black beauty is our round trip blouse. We also have it in a printed version that is very warm undertone friendly, but this is a 100% polyester piece. Now, these have no stretch to them. So when I wash them, guess when we're talking about washing, I may as well show you the mesh bags. It's been only a few years since I've started using mesh bags. Prior to that, I just did everything on the hand washer delicate cycle of my washing machine. But I do find that I appreciate separating things by type. So I'll put all my non-stretchy pieces in a mesh bag. I'll put all my dream fabric stretchy pieces usually in 2 mesh bags, because I wear double the dream fabric pieces to the polyester pieces. But that just kind of keeps things straight. And then when I pull a non-stretchy or 100% polyester piece out of the washing machine, I just go ahead and put it on a hanger and I hang it to dry. These pieces that have stretch to them, you don't want to hang them because they will get pulled out of shape. And so what I do for these is I have a drying rack that's a collapsible rack, and I just pull that out and I lay it over my drying rack, just kind of in half. You could also, before I had a drying rack, I just had a towel and I laid it out on the table, and then I laid my stretchy pieces on there. Now you may have noticed how I had this on the hanger. I'm going to show you that when I come back and talk about storing sweaters and such. So it's a fun little hanger trick.
There is one mistake that a lot of people make with a steamer, and so some people hate steamers, and I'm going to show you a little trick. First of all, mine is just a Conair Extreme Steam. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it was the first one I got, and I got it because this is the one that our design team uses to travel to Cabby Scoop and everything. I've been in the back room with them, and this is what they use. The one thing I love about it is you can lock the steam on, and you can do low or high heat. So I haven't had any issues with it. It does a constant steam, and it's really great. But I have had clients tell me that they hate steamers because they don't work. And the issue is they're trying to steam from out here. So I'm going to turn so you can see. They're just trying to kind of steam from out here. What you want to do is actually, you can go, I always go on the inside, but you're going to drag the steamer from the inside slowly down over the fabrication. You go slow and drag, like, I don't know which direction is best. I think it's better if I go like this. So this is sheer so you can see, but you literally just drag the steamer down, and it's not going to hurt your fabrications because it is truly just water. So, and you can also descale these with a tiny, tiny bit of vinegar water, like just a little bit of vinegar through the water if they start to get hard water residue. So you don't have to buy, if you can clean a coffee pot with white vinegar, you can clean your steamer, but you only need a little tiny bit of that. Now, a couple other things that are my favorite tools for getting stains out that I have tried and tested that do not tend to hurt my cabby garments. However, if it's an over dye or anything, you always want to test a small spot. But Fell's Naphtha, it's been around for generations. It's not going anywhere. It's just a really gentle soap that seems to get everything out. And then another one is Grandma's Secret Spot Remover. And I really, really like this. I will give you my last little tip, and then I will turn it over to Rebecca and she will take us out. But this one is specifically for a denim that is an indigo color. You can try it with blacks, you can try it with other things, but oftentimes those pieces are designed to let the dye kind of come out and to release. So I really just specifically say this is for a denim jean. If you've ever gotten blue hands from wearing a jean, anything that's a very, very dark indigo, there is an over dye process. But because there's an over dye process, that also means that some of that dye is going to naturally come out. So the pro to an over dye process is you get a really, really dark, beautiful lean jean. The con to it is you could end up with blue hands, maybe a blue chair, just depends. So you can mix equal parts of salt and vinegar in a big bucket of warm water. You're going to inside these out and soak them. And I soak them overnight because I put them in and don't worry about them. Then the next morning, I will put them in with my normal stuff on cold inside out, and I will hang dry and let them set. That's going to help seal some of that over dye. You can also put a color catcher in that wash. Those, I believe you can get them in different brands, but you just kind of throw them in the wash and it absorbs some of that color. But that way they stay looking nice and crisp, and it will minimize the amount of over dye that comes out. I just saw one thing I wanted to point out with Rebecca's little scarf hanger. If you have a lot of camis where that had a ton of hooks, you could actually tie your camis onto it as well. So I just slipped them through, This is how I show them at my shows, just so everybody can see every colorway. But it does save room in your closet. And since she showed that really cool scarf rack, you could actually do that to your camis as well. So Rebecca, why don't you take us out for the day, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, I actually have a tie rack at home that all my camis are hanging on. So it makes it really easy to just pull the cami that I want off of there, because I tend to be a little bit lazy. I don't want to have to undo it all the time. Okay, so a couple pieces. I love the Grandma's spot remover. That's something that I use as well. I really, really like the Norwex wrinkle release spray. If you're in a pinch and you don't have a steamer or something handy. I also use the Norwex fabric detergent and like that a lot. Something that a friend of mine turned me on to is these little Tide to Go pens, and I'm just amazed by how well they work. The first time I ever saw it used, she had on white jeans and she spilled coffee on her jeans, and she just put this on and it like immediately pulled it up. So I was sold from that point forward. Okay, now here's the little hanger trick that so I think Amy and I would both recommend, if you have the space, it's great to be able to store your sweaters folded and flat, because that's going to keep them in really good shape. That's definitely would be my preference, but I don't have that opportunity. So I have found some different things that work. First of all, I've got our little travel cardigan on here, and you can see I've taken and just laid this over the top of the hanger and then brought the bottom and the sleeves through. So it's fully secured, it's not going to fall off, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in a minute. Now, if you're like me, and I think I've already said that I'm just a little bit lazy when it comes to putting things in my closet. In fact, the other day, I finally accomplished washing, drying, folding, and putting away all of my clothes in the same day. And I was so darn proud of myself, but I was also fearful that there might be a seismic event because of that. So I'm always looking at ways to cut corners. So all I've done here is I've taken the sweater and I folded it in half, and then I've put it through the bar of the hanger, and it is just laying over the bar of the hanger. And again, it's not getting pulled any different direction, and so it makes it really easy. But let me see if I can show you how to do this. So I have taken the Serenity tee and I've just folded it in half. So you've got your tee, just take it, fold it in half, and then right here where the arm meets the body, that is where your hanger top is going to go. So you just lay your sleeve over your hanger, then you bring the body over the hanger, so it's kind of hugging the actual hook of the hanger. And then if you want to keep it from sliding around, you just pull the body and the arms through, and there you go. Now you're not going to have those little nubbins at your shoulder where your hanger has distorted the fabric that it so commonly does on knits, and it just keeps everything put together. So super sweet little tip. One more thing I will say, I do have a mesh bag that has like a wire or something, maybe a plastic ring of some sort in it, and so it's cylindrical, and that's what I put my bras in, so it just kind of holds the shape of the bra and they don't get all twisted around and pulled out of shape. And Amy and I talked about foundations a couple of weeks ago, so if you missed that video, go back and watch it. I think it was really good. We've heard some fantastic reviews from that it was very helpful, but those cylindrical mesh bags are another one that you can use specifically for that. So thank you for being with us here today. Thank you for this lovely suggestion of a topic. We hope it was helpful. If you have any tips or tricks that you want to leave and share with us and everyone else, leave those in the comments. We love to hear from you. And likewise, if there's something you would like to learn about, then let us know, and that will be featured in an upcoming video. So have a beautiful, blessed day, and we will see you next week.